Diamonds are forever.
Hi everyone, I'm Pete Kelly from Radio Diamonds and welcome to highlights of Wellingborough Whitworth against AFC Rushden Diamonds from the UCL Division 1 on Easter Monday, only on AFCRDTV. With Diamonds getting a heroic 2-2 draw on Saturday against Odeby, everyone knew that Diamonds would have to try and pick up maximum points in this contest and in every other contest surely into the end of the season. Diamonds immediately were a goal in front after a cracking crisp Hope header across the face of goal. Defence panicked, and then Alex Deakin's shot into Jack Wisniewski ended up in the back of the net. Jake Newman had an opportunity to try to make it 2 later on, although his drive hit the foot of the post with the goalkeeper beat him. And Alfie Taylor couldn't do anything with the rebound. Whitworth's defence did eventually scramble that chance away. And then Diamond's shot was wide. The second goal came in fairly controversial circumstances. Jake Newman bundling the ball just across the line, and I'm sure that he will argue that it's with his midriff, although a couple of people behind the goal would argue otherwise. Whitworth 0, AFC Rushden Diamonds 2 then at that stage. And on a horribly cold day, Diamonds were absolutely in the ascendancy for the whole first half. And this Matt Gearing free kick would be the last of the action. Really, Diamonds were comfortable at this stage. Whitworth didn't really offer anything, and at half time it was Wellingborough Whitworth 0, AFC Rushden Diamonds 2. It would be an order for more of the same in the second half. To their credit though, Whitworth had the better of the opening 10 or so minutes of that second period, although a wonderful ball forward from Shamrock Bride, how many of those have we seen this season, into the path of Jake Newman, who drew the goalkeeper, slotted it home, and easy as you like, Diamonds were into a 3-0 lead. And still the chances came for the Diamonds. Matt Gearing playing a nice 1-2 into Jake Newman, getting the ball back, and his snapshot going just over the crossbar. And then later on, Lance Allen, who worked hard, his shot went just wide. So as they entered injury time, Diamonds were hoping for a clean sheet, although the defence decided to make things slightly interesting. Ben Morgan, the unlucky player, and for Whitworth, the fortunate player was Cavell Jarvis, who gave Sean Moot no chance. Whitworth 1, FC Rushden Diamonds 3. That madness then spread to the rest of the back line. Matt Judge nipping in, Sean Moot pulling off a good save. And then Whitworth weren't quite able to do anything with the rebound. All this action happening in injury time, I stress. In the end though, Whitworth 1, FC Rushden Diamonds 3, the final score. So I'll be slipping up elsewhere. Makes things interesting as we enter the real business end of the season, and Diamonds' next match is away at Northampton ON Chennex. This is AFCRDTV.
I'm here with man of the match and club captain Chris Hope, following AFC Rushden Diamonds' fairly comprehensive 3-1 win over Whitworth. Chris, did you enjoy that game?
Yeah, I did. You know, we certainly enjoyed it Saturday, but we knew that had been for nothing if we couldn't get a result today. And I think the main thing in the dressing room before the game and at half time was that we got to keep the pressure on the teams that are above us. You know, we're aiming. You know, we're going to try and win every game, get the points on the board, and then it's up to them to catch us. And you know, pressure's is a big thing in football. You know, them teams up there, they've got to you know, they've got to win every game as well, because I know that we're breathing down their necks. So no, it was a good result today. We've had a couple of tough games against Whitworth, so it was a tougher one again today, but thought we deserved the win.
And we saw a little bit of a change of formation. Injury and availability forced as much as anything. Does that faze you, having to swap the formation at all?
Not really, no. You know, I think Stams was lucky, got sort of likes of me and Deeks, who've got a bit of experience there at the back, and you know, when you play that formation, you've got someone like Brad who just sits in midfield and, you know, soaks things up a little bit in front of you. So no, it wasn't a massive problem today. It was you know, it was quite enjoyable. I think the only I'm happy we won there and disappointed we conceded at the end. You know, it was I wanted a clean sheet today. Defenders pride themselves on clean sheets. It's a bit disappointing. We got a little bit sloppy last couple of minutes, but you know, win's a win. You know.
Yeah, but it was a forward who gave the goal away, though, wasn't it? So that's what they're like, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I felt a bit sorry for Ben because actually, you know, he came in, he was very disciplined in his role. You know, he's someone who wants to get forward, but to be fair to him, he stuck tight to their lad. He was very quick. You know, it was a mistake, but everyone makes mistakes, and you know, I think through the match, you know, we've had chances again to make it a bit more comfortable, but like I've always said, I'd rather us miss chances than not get any chances at all, so we just got to keep that run going now. So I don't know, is it for 15 I think, or something like that, unbeaten? So yeah, we'll be looking to try and win every game, you know, give the teams the respect they deserve, but you know, we've got to put our stamp on it and go out and start like we did in this game today.
And we got off to a good start with Wiz banging one in after a bit of ping pong in the area. What was your view from the halfway line?
Well, actually, it was me who headed it towards goal, so you got to keep up a little bit. Yeah,
I knew that. Just saying if you can remember.
I got a pretty good view, to be fair. So no, it was good ball in by Matty. You know, he's got great delivery, and I managed to get my head on it, and sort of watched the ball go across, and I think it hit the post. Bit of a scramble. I think Deeks was trying to claim it, but I think Wiz got it in the end. So, but it was a good start for us, and then to score so quickly, you know, straight after, like, you know, it wasn't long after that we got the second goal. A little bit controversial, might have hit Jake on the hand, but we've had goals against us like that this season, so you take it. And
then Jake got another one, giving him another 2 for the season. He's been a good signing for us, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done terrific, and it was nice to see him slot that one in. You know, he had a few 1-on-1s the other day and stuff, but he certainly was composed, and he's just rolled it in the back of the net, and that sort of sealed the game for us, really. So yeah, he's done terrific for us, works hard. Like you say, it's nice to sort of share the goals around a little bit like we have done this season, because you can't just rely on the forwards. You know, people like Wiz chipping in with goals, and Deeks this season's got, you know, 5 or 6, so it's good that we do share them out.
And we're speaking to you after a win, which is unusual. We usually get dragged out on the rare occasions we lose, so we can talk a little bit more. Obviously, you're Rushden Diamonds legend. How have you found it at AFC Rushden Diamonds?
I don't know about legend, but yeah, I've loved it. You know, I've always been sort of committed to the club, and I think I showed that when, you know, I came to the first meeting, and which Ralph obviously chaired then, and, you know, seeing a lot of. It was such a shame when the old club went under, but the good thing for me coming back is, you know, you see this likes of Starms and, you know, all the boys here are involved on the board and that were there week in, week out when I was at Diamonds the first time. So, and like I've always said, it's a bit more like family than anything else. So, you know, it's going places, this club. You know, the aim is to get up this season. Hopefully we can do that. If we don't, you know, I'm confident going forward that it will happen. And, you know, I think sometimes it's not easy just to throw a side together and just get onto that run, but I think the credit to the management team is now they've got a squad that you look at, it's very strong, and got the right players in to go take the club forward. And maybe we didn't have that quite at the start of the season, but I think it's sort of, you know, we've brought the lads in, and they've done terrific, and it's shown because what a magnificent run we're on at the minute. But, you know, got to keep on it. Yeah.
And we've got a young team. You're the elder statesman. Do you find that you have to guide them along sometimes, point them in the right direction?
Yeah, well, you know, I think that's probably is my role at the club. You know, of late I've been a little bit unfortunate with sort of work commitments and stuff that I couldn't play as much. But then Parky's come in, and, you know, another experienced head. He's been terrific, him and Diggs, to be fair. So you know, I turned up on Saturday and I didn't think I would probably play, and you know, but you know, I was pleased to get back in the team, and I see my role as trying to, you know, use that experience and guide people into the right places and just be a talker, and that's always been my game. So you know, if I can help the club that way this season, then so be it. And but I still enjoy it. You know, I still feel fit. I know there's a few people saying my legs might be going, but if anyone saw me sprint back from that corner, I've got a bit of pace still.
And you know all about the club as a whole. You've been very supportive of the ladies, been out for their training session, yeah. And you're involved in youth football yourself. Yeah. Do you think that football clubs should be run this way?
Oh, definitely. You know, it's easy to come on camera and sort of, you know, be very complimentary, but, you know, away from here, when I do speak to people, I say it's a proper club, And you know, I've been fortunate to play league football and stuff, and it's run like a league club. You know, all right, we're not training every day, but you know, we want for nothing. You know, the coaching staff's different class. You know, you got Dino doing the fitness side of it. The manager, the coaches all know the stuff. Like you say, the boards and that. It just shows how passionate people are when we've had that bad weather and everyone's out on the pitch and trying to get the games on and stuff like that. You know, they've got a lot of teams from youth football, the girls and everything. It's a proper club, and I think, you know, the vibe in the dressing room when I speak to lads is they haven't experienced anything like this. And I said, you know, and I think it's what draws people to the play. I'm sure we'll come the end of the season, the Starms and Ralph will probably get 1 million phone calls. Can I come and join your club? You know, and you know. And the reason is it's just so well run.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much, Chris. Another excellent game today and what's been a good season for you. Short trip on Saturday and we carry on.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like I say, we set ourselves a target. We just got to keep that going. But we know no club's going to make it easy for us. So you know, we've just got to give 100%. And if we've shown the effort like we have done on this run, you know, we can see it through. And then, like you say, it's, you know, you knock the ball into the court of the other teams, you know, Silbies and that, and see what they've got to come up with.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, now on AFCRDTV, the manager of AFC Rushden Diamonds, after a fine victory today over Wellingborough Whitworth, 3-1. Storms, what do you feel was the key to the victory today for Diamonds?
I thought we wanted it more. I thought we were sharp out the blocks and controlled the game early doors, and you know, took it on from there. Scored the goals, scrappy goals, but you know, the goals. So got a foothold in the game early doors, and just went from there really.
I won't say easy peasy, but it seemed like Diamonds really were in control, really from start to finish today.
Yeah, they were. I got sloppy second half. Just took the foot off the pedal a little bit, which tended to annoy me, and obviously give the goal away right at the end. So it happens, you know, it happens. But overall, happy with 3 points, and that's what we've got to keep doing. And if we do that, and it doesn't work out, we can hold our heads up high. If we let points slip now, it may still cost us. So we've just got to be focused on winning every game, and just getting to the end of the season and seeing where it takes us.
And I assume you're pleased with the 3-5-2 formation in use today. Seemed to work well.
Yeah, I thought rather than we did well on Saturday there, but I thought, you know, rather than putting him in there again, let's be positive. Let's get attacking from the off, and let's dominate in midfield. And you know, 3 experienced boys there at the back, they should be able to cope with all due respect what Whitworth have got. So, and they did. So. No, I thought it was the right time to do it without putting any pressure on players playing that position. So that's because I wasn't going to play Peaksy or Biff. So I thought that was the right thing to do.
Hey, I was ready to suit up today. April Fool. Okay. No. Were you concentrating on Cavell Jarvis, their leading scorer? And darn it, if he didn't score one right at the death of the match, but he was their team's leading scorer, I believe, came in with 18 goals today. Yeah,
a decent player, but you know, I felt what we got at the back, we could dominate midfield, and if they hit it long or whatever into the channels, I felt we were good enough to deal with that. And so yeah, of course he's a threat. He is a threat, but I felt we were good enough to deal with that. So I thought we'd be positive, try and get on the front foot early doors and dominate in that midfield area, which we did.
Diamond's man of the match, the venerable veteran, Chris Hope. Good game for Hopey, wasn't it?
Yeah, wasn't bad. Kept kicking the ball out of touch, letting it go through his legs. Yeah, no, Chris is Chris, and you know, he works so hard, and to be fair to him, he really enjoys it. You know, he's the same. What you see out on the pitch, I get in training every week, so he gives 110% commitment, and he's no, he loves it. He loves it.
Well, finally, Storms, the teams around us keep on winning as well. So another big game on Saturday at Owen Chinnicks, right? What are your early thoughts about that game?
It's another game we've got to go and win. You know,
Exactly.
We hope that teams around us drop points, but if they don't, they don't. But we've just got to make sure we do it right and get as many points as possible. And you know, since January the 7th, the club have got better on the pitch. They've moved forward. they're probably the top form side, if we're honest, since January the 7th. So, you know, there's no God-given right we get out of the division this year. And I said that from the start, and I firmly believe it. And if we do, we do. If we don't, and end around 90 points and not get out of the division, then we ain't had a bad season. So we'll keep going. We'll look forward to Saturday, and we'll go there obviously to get 3 points.
Thanks, Mark.
Diamonds are forever.